I fell in love at first sight, and the alien woman noticed. The first time I saw her, she wasn't trying to be seen. She was standing alone at the edge of the landing zone, beneath the twin suns of Varela 4, her skin shimmering like moonlight under the heat. Clad in deep green armor with lines like carved bone, she moved with the quiet grace of someone used to silence, someone who had seen war and walked away from it still standing. And I, just another human liaison officer in a borrowed suit, forgot how to breathe. I didn't know her name. I didn't know what species she was. But my chest locked like I'd stepped into vacuum. She turned her head, slowly, and looked right at me, eyes like silver storms. And I knew I was falling. I tried to act normal. Of course. Varela 4 was the site of the first full diplomatic conference between the United Earth Alliance and the Turani Empire, after years of tension and near wars. I had studied every scrap of their culture, memorized their gestures, even learned enough Turani to greet without offense. But nothing had prepared me for her. Later, I learned her name, Vailari. She was a Turani tactician, a war hero, and daughter of one of the elder bloodlines. She shouldn't have even glanced at a low-ranking human like me. And yet, from that moment onward, she kept noticing. She noticed when I stepped too close to the ceremonial fire, and gently pulled me back without a word. She noticed when I couldn't decipher the layered pitch of a Turani phrase, and she quietly spoke it for me. And she noticed most of all when I looked at her like she was the beginning and end of the universe. "You stare too much," she said one night, voice low and smooth as dusk. We were on a viewing deck. The stars scattered like jewels across black silk. I had been watching her reflection in the glass. "I'm sorry," I said quickly. You think I don't see," she interrupted. "Turani eyes are sharper than yours." I winced, embarrassed. "I'll stop." But she didn't walk away. Instead, she turned to face me fully. "Why do you look at me like that?" she asked, no anger in her tone, just curiosity, maybe something else. I hesitated, then decided to be honest, because when I saw you the first time, something in me changed. I didn't expect it. I didn't ask for it. But there it is. "You are saying," she said, tilting her head slightly, "that you fell in love at first sight." "Yeah." She stared at me for a long time. I couldn't read her expression. Then, finally, she said, "Strange. We do not have that." I frowned. "What?" "That instant recognition," she said. "Our bonds are slow. Tested. Fought for. But you looked at me as if the war was already over." "It is," I whispered. She studied me again. And then, quietly, she sat beside me. From that night on, she came often. Not always to speak. Sometimes she'd simply stand beside me during treaty sessions. Other times she'd gesture for me to follow her into the gardens of Varela's central dome. We never touched, but there was a nearness, a gravity. "I've read about your kind," she said one day as we watched the artificial rivers ripple under mirrored sunlight. "They say humans burn brightly and die young, that your emotions run hot and wild." "Not wrong," I replied. She was silent for a moment. "Then is it worth it?" "What?" "That kind of love, the kind you say you feel." I turned toward her, every second of it. Weeks passed. Our delegation was scheduled to leave in 3 days. I stood on the high balcony of the human quarters, watching Varela's sky shimmer in the coming dawn. The air was warm, too warm for Earth skin, but I barely noticed. I sensed her before she arrived. "Will you leave without saying anything?" Vailari asked from behind me. I turned. She stood in the shadows, her armor traded for simple robes. Her hair flowed freely, silver threads drifting on unseen air currents. I didn't know what to say. I admitted, "Then say it now." I love you, I said simply, and I don't expect anything. You don't have to feel the same. I just needed you to know you changed me. She stepped forward, slowly, until we were less than a meter apart. I noticed you because you were quiet in a room full of noise, she said, because you asked questions others feared, and because you looked at me like I was more than a name on a banner. You are. She reached out. Her hand hovered near my chest, but didn't touch. We do not fall, she said. We choose. And her voice was almost a whisper. I choose. That night, the stars seemed brighter. We sat close, shoulders nearly touching as the world around us slept. Her fingers brushed mine, briefly, a touch small and quiet. But it echoed to me like thunder. This doesn't make sense, I said quietly. Our people are still learning how to speak to each other. Then we will teach them, she said. When the transport came, I stood at the edge of the ramp, bags packed, future uncertain. And then she arrived, the human officer staring in confusion as Velari, daughter of the Tirani High Command, approached the ship wearing diplomatic robes stitched with both our symbols. She turned to me and said, clearly, in human English, I will walk your world. I will learn your winds. And I will see what your love becomes when it's allowed to bloom. I took her hand. The stars above Varela turned, slow and silent. And I smiled,